Hello there, welcome to In My Opinion for Captain Blood. The story opens up with some guys being attacked by pirates, and after a bloody battle, his daughter gets kidnapped. Cut to our lead pirate, Captain Peter Blood, and his right-hand man Walt, resting, talking about business, and how with the ongoing war between Spain and England, they could become privateers, meaning they can legally steal from government enemy vessels. But before anything more can be said, the Spanish attack. After that mess is cleaned up, the guy whose daughter was kidnapped is saved from a Spanish ship, and turns out he's a military advisor to the British governor, and offers Blood a big reward for saving his daughter, which is some money and the governor's ear. With that, Captain Blood accepts, and thus the journey starts. Now you won't get some deep introspective on Captain Blood and his life and such, but what you do get here is a pretty badass guy who kicks a bunch of people's ass through his adventure. If you're going with this thought process, you should have an entertaining time. This was a 3D hack and slash game meant to be released during the PS3 and 360 era, and it does feel like it, but I don't mean that in a bad way. You have your 2-button attacks that you can combine to a little combo, grenades you can toss, and a grab button that will kill enemies instantly. Though there are other enemies you have to beat down before doing this, which will result in an execution. The pistol in your arsenal is useful in stunning and blasting away enemies from afar, though you have to wait for a meter to fill before you can shoot again. And you can even take temp weapons from enemies, be they swords, axes, or other guns. You can also build up a rage meter by attacking or blue bottle pickups, allowing you to go into a powerful state where you can't be stunned and do a lot of damage. There's also another bottle pickup, a red one, that can be dropped as well to refill some health, which of course will be helpful. The core swashbuckling is simple but fun. It just feels good whacking these enemies with your weapons and pulling off a brutal execution. The game has no lock-on feature, but to be honest, it never felt like a hindrance to the combat. There's also little set pieces where you can jump on a turret and mow down people or ships. Along the way, you'll be collecting coins from killing and even more from the chests you find laying around. This money is used for the in-game shop, which can gain you more combos and allows you to make them stronger. Though I'll be honest, I stuck to like 1 or 2 and was basically fine. Just find your favorite and pretty much stick to that. You can also upgrade things like the amount of grenades you can carry, health, and the reload time, damage, and how many shots you can take with your pistol, which is a night and day difference, as the gun is pretty useless at the start of the game. You finally got 4 different execution bonuses to unlock. The bonus is depending on the execution. You can gain more gold, steal the enemy's weapon, just do a fast one, and finally filling your rage meter faster, which I have to say helps later on, as you're mobbed against more stronger enemies as you get deeper into the game. Now these type of executions won't work on the weaker enemies, but there's plenty of sturdier goons to use it. What's great is you can access the shop whenever during gameplay, so if you're close to something you want, the second you have the coin, you can get it instead of waiting till the end of the chapter. Being a pirate game, you do have some sort of ship combat. These are contained sections in which your ship will be surrounded by other ships, and you have to shoot from one of your many cannons to take them down while dodging oncoming explosions. There's also a chance to be boarded by other smaller boats full of enemies that will make things harder for you, though you can blow them up before they get close, and your crew yells at you when they appear and what side. It's just about acting fast. These sections are just okay to me, as I'd rather be just slashing people on land, though I do get it, as big pirate fans would want something like this, and it can be seen as a nice break from the swashbuckling. One of the great things about these sections is your ship doesn't have health. It's more about you yourself surviving the cannon attacks. It just makes for a more enjoyable time. This game being developed when it was, you should expect a decent amount of quick time events, which depending on who you are, you either love them or hate them. I don't hate them as long as they're not crazy and cheap, which they aren't here, as if you happen to fail them, you'll just die but start from the QTE again. You'll find them meaningful boss fight moments for a fun little set piece. And speaking of bosses, they are pretty simple but fun. There's one that made me laugh a little bit since it was mainly just quick time events, but there's a good reason why. When you're done with a chapter, you're given stats such as kills and how long you took. If you notice, you will also see chests open, as there's a set amount in the majority of the chapters. And even though the game is pretty linear, you still can miss one. If this does happen, the game thankfully has a chapter select option where you can check the stats and see if you missed any. Just after beating it, go to play game and continue the adventure to do any cleanup, though you are stuck or whatever difficulty you beat it on. You can tell this game was made from a certain era, but I can't call it ugly. I actually like how the game looks, and I'm guessing releasing now allow for a little more touch-ups. I like the bright colors, and Captain Blood and his right-hand man have a pretty cool design, and bosses themselves stand out from the grunts. And if you like pretty women with a nice rack, this has that too. The violence is also fun to watch with ragdoll physics and a lot of blood. The locations also do a good job standing out from one another. Even if one is another castle, it's distinct enough that you don't feel like you're playing through the same area again. There are some negatives though, such as some weird lines you can see during the cutscenes, which are kind of annoying at first, but I got used to it. Also, if you plan to play without subtitles, I suggest lowering the music because it plays way too loud that you can't hear the voice actors. And speaking of them, they actually do a pretty damn good job. Besides these problems, I played through the whole game with no game-breaking bugs and it ran really smooth.
Good old Spanish hospitality.
So, you want to return the welcome message?
No. The advisor's daughter's in there. I don't want to risk killing her. Take her in closer to shore. The cannonballs will not harm us there.
I really enjoyed my time with the game, and don't mind how straightforward it was with the combat. And I like the visuals and character designs, and wouldn't mind another entry. It took me about 6 hours to beat, and for replay value, you go to chapter select and collect everything and upgrade yourself to the max. If you're in the mood for a simple but fun and violent pirate hack and slash with a badass lead, then I would suggest you join the crew of Captain Blood. I hope you enjoy my thoughts on this game, and for gamer's sake, keep gaming.